guys, welcome back. I'm Hope and I am here today to do a book review over Looking for Alaska, and actually let me grab it. This is the book. It is by John Green and I believe it's his first novel that he's ever written. And first I would just want to say that I think John Green is a literary genius. I have now read all of his novels and this was definitely my second favorite book. My friend Jordan had told me he liked this more than The Fault in Our Stars, and I can definitely see why. I am just a bit more of probably a romantic than he is, so I did enjoy The Fault in Our Stars more, but still this was a wonderful book. So with that said, let's dive into what this story is all about. Okay, so our main character, his name is Miles, and he decides he wants to go and attend the boarding school his father attended when he was in high school. This decision wasn't to follow his dad's footsteps. It was actually the reason why he wanted to go was to find the great perhaps. You see, Miles, he enjoys studying people's last words and is really intrigued by that. And a guy named Francois Rabelais, I don't really know how to say his last name, but anyways, one of his famous last words that he said was, "I go to seek the great perhaps." So the story follows Miles on his new journey at Culver Creek boarding school. Okay, so at Culver Creek boarding school, he gets thrown into some situations that completely takes him out of his comfort zone. He gets paired up with his roommate. His name is Chip, but he goes by the Colonel, and he befriends a beautiful girl that lives right down the hall. Her name is Alaska Young. She's very free-spirited, and Miles is really intrigued by her. With these new relationships that he makes, Miles gets faced with some troubling life circumstances via his new friends and struggles with unanswered questions about the afterlife and suffering and why does it happen to people. Alright, so with that said, let's talk about the characters. Miles, he is our main character, and before he came to Culver Creek, he was shy, he was innocent, he was a little awkward, he was definitely an introvert. He didn't have too many friends back home in Florida, and his life wasn't too exciting. But once he came to Culver Creek, he really broke out of his shell. He became more adventurous and outgoing, and every opportunity he had to kind of dive into the culture of Culver Creek, he definitely took it. So he was really a great character to read and really relate to, and his character was the one I could truly empathize with. Okay, so that brings us to the Colonel, Miles's roommate, and he was the tough guy, and he was the friend that would never rat anyone out. He was always there by their sides until death, and he was a dependable friend. He always had your back no matter what. Okay, so we have Alaska Young, and she was the beautiful, free-spirited girl that lived down the hall from Miles and the Colonel. She was the girl that kind of had a troubling and secretive past that you really don't find out until the middle of the book. But her character was the provocative and secretive character. She was the cause of many of the shenanigans that went down at the boarding school, and Miles always seemed to kind of be planted in the middle of all these shenanigans that she came up with. She captivated Miles from the start and really kept him fascinated with her aloof nature. Takumi, he was the friend that was always providing the comic relief. He was really, quick-witted, on his toes at all times. He loved adventure, loved being a part of anything that was going on. He made me laugh the most in this book. He had a lot of great lines, and I really enjoyed his character. So overall, I really enjoyed this book. I also really enjoyed the writing style. It was very different from all the other John Green books that I've read. He decided not to use chapters, and instead he kind of used countdowns. So the book was split up into two sections. There was a before section, and then there was an after section. I'll see if I can find what that looks like. So you can see here that it says after. So it's split up into two. So the first part of the book is counting down to the after, and then after you get to the after page, it starts saying, 10 days after, 13 days after, and we don't know what the after is. And so I was really, really intrigued to just keep reading and find out, okay, what is this all before stuff? What does this mean? What before what? And then, you know, after, how are the characters going to move on from what had happened? So I really did enjoy this book. I didn't cry. Thought I might, you know, shed a tear. I did get a little teary-eyed, but I did not bawl my eyes out like I did in The Fault in Our Stars. I enjoyed the adventure in this book, along with the deep struggle that some of the characters had. And the ending of the book was pure gold. I love how John Green wrote about the answer to the labyrinth, and that will make more sense to you if you read the book. I can't say much more than that without spoiling the story. But one of my favorite quotes I do want to read you, and I think I have it up here. Okay, it says, "If people were rain, I was drizzle and she was a hurricane." And wow, when I read that, I was like, ah! John Green is awesome. Anyways, I would love to hear if you guys have read this book, and let me know what you guys thought of it and what your favorite quote was in the comment box below. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Have a great day.